I'm guessing you clicked on this video because some part of that title resonates with you. You've probably been on your bed, mid-scroll, mid-gaming, and just thinking, where's my life even going? I think this is something we don't talk about enough. I think the 20s is this is probably the weirdest decade you will ever live. This is meant to be the time that you're meant to have things figured out, like your career, relationships, who you are. But honestly, most of us are here just winging it. And I feel like we don't talk about this enough. So that's why I kind of wanted to make this channel and address these sort of topics, because I know I'm not the only one feeling like that. So yeah, let's talk about it. We all kind of grew up with this idea of how life is supposed to go. Go to school, get a degree, land a job, meet someone, settle down, be happy. But no one really prepares you for what happens when it doesn't go that way, or when you get to that point and realize this isn't actually what you want. Some of us finish school and feel completely clueless. Others start a job and quickly realize it's not even the job they want to do. Some people travel, some stay at home, some people grind non-stop. And then there's the rest of us, just trying to figure out what we want to eat today. And the worst part is social media. You see people your age buying houses, traveling the world, building businesses, and you're just surviving. You start to think, am I behind? Am I doing something wrong? And I've just come to realize that this isn't a thing. Like, timelines are fake. Everyone's playing a different game. Just because someone else looks ahead doesn't mean that you're behind. What no one really tells you is that feeling lost is part of the process. Your 20s are the first time life really opens up. There's no school telling you what's next, no roadmap. It's just you making decisions, messing up, starting over. And this freedom can feel overwhelming. You try stuff, it flops. You change your mind, you switch directions, you lose people, you grow, and sometimes you just float for a while. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means that you're figuring it out. There's this pressure to know exactly who you are and what you want. But truthfully, most of us are just learning by doing. And yeah, sometimes doing means failing. That's normal. But that's how you get closer to what feels right. You don't have to know it all now. You're allowed to be in progress. What I want to touch on again is comparison and social media. I think that's really the trap here. I think that's the thing that is really affecting everyone's mental health and making people feel so behind. Remember, we weren't always, back in the day, people didn't always have access to the internet to be able to see what someone across the world in South Africa has built for themselves, or what someone in Sweden, the magical business they've created to solve world hunger. We remember that people back in the day didn't have access to that. We have all of that now. It's really crazy. Social media makes it feel like everyone has their life sorted. Career, love life, finances, gym routines, but you're not seeing the full picture. You're seeing the highlight reel, not the full behind the scenes. People aren't posting their breakdowns. They're not uploading videos of them doubting themselves or restarting from zero. They just show you the wins. So don't compare your messy middle to someone else's curated story. You're not behind. You're just on your own timeline. And honestly, that's okay. That's fine. You're not meant to live someone else's life anyway. You're meant to live yours. And your life is going to come with your problems and your struggles. But the key word there is your. Everyone's journey is different. And I think comparing yourself is the thief of joy. And I think we all need to get out of that. It's not easy. As I said, I'm still there. I can talk like I know it all and speak as though I have it all figured out. I don't. I'm 27. I go online and there are some 27-year-olds. In fact, not 27. There are some 22-year-olds that are driving Lamborghinis and have mansions, and you have to become okay with that. And if you can't, then you need to take some time out of social media. I can really talk about this topic for ages. I think I will probably have to make a separate video about how comparison can completely mess you up and what you can do to kind of avoid that sort of thing. But yeah, man, we got to stop that comparison thing. I feel like growth doesn't always look like what you expect it to look like. Sometimes growth can be loud. Like, this is the one you usually see on social media. It's the new job, the big move, the exciting changes. But what you don't see is that at times growth can be quiet. It can be choosing not to text that person back. Like, maybe setting a boundary, showing up when you don't really feel like it. This is like gym. It's the boring days, the tough choices, the small wins that no one sees. Just because your growth isn't flashy doesn't mean it doesn't count. It all adds up at the end. So even if it feels like you're stuck, if you're trying, you're growing, and that's what's important. One of the worst things about feeling lost is that it feels like at times you're the only one going through it, but trust me, you're not. A lot of people feel this way. They just don't say it out loud. So if you've been feeling like you're the only one still figuring stuff out, you're really not. So many of us are just taking it day by day, trying our best, messing up and trying again. And that's okay. That's life. You're allowed to not know what's next. You're allowed to be figuring it out. What matters is that you're still going. Honestly, this doesn't even count for the 20s. You can include this in 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't really care. I think it's more about just doing what's right for you. There's going to be times in your life where you're feeling down. You're feeling like you haven't got it all figured out, and that maybe one path you were really interested in has just closed up. That's fine. Take your time to regroup and go again. And I think that's what we need to be doing as a community. And I think men got to talk about this a lot more. I think this is just one of those subject topics where it's just felt as though, men, you got to figure it out. This is you now. You're out in the world on your own. But honestly, like we need to talk more. We need to share more, because someone's story can help someone else's. And I think that's what I'm kind of aiming for. That's what I want. Some things you can do to kind of help this situation of you feeling lost is maybe write stuff down. I mean, I'm not one to do this a lot, but a lot of people do like journaling. One of the biggest problems we have is things were always in our head. So get out of your head, put stuff on paper, put maybe a few goals down, and then, come back and look at it occasionally to help with the overthinking. I think another thing you can do is try things without the pressure to be amazing at it. I think a lot of the time you only start a YouTube account if you know it can be the next Mr. Beast. You'll only play a sport if you know you can go professional, but that's not the point. And this is what we've been conditioned to think. Do what you feel like doing, do what you enjoy doing, and do what just makes you happy. And I think that's how you kind of find your passion and find what you're really, really interested in, which can help so much. I think another thing you can do is set small goals. I think a lot of people, like, for example, I've made this YouTube channel, and I'm not, it would be silly of me to say 500k subscribers by the end of the year. That's not even that. Like maybe 1,000. I mean, personally, I feel like 1,000 people subscribing and wanting to come back to my content, that's insane. I think of 1,000 people one room, and that's just crazy. But even smaller, even 500. I think once you set goals that you feel can be achievable with what you're doing, I feel like then you won't be too overwhelmed if it's not hit or if you haven't got there yet. And it's all about when, not if. I think consistency is the most important thing here. And if you believe in yourself and you keep going, then I don't feel like there's a goal you can't reach if you keep pushing for it. It just doesn't happen. Put your all into it. Another thing with what we've mentioned before is cut down the scroll time. I think this is something I do regularly. Do a social media detox. I'm not saying you can't use your phone. Obviously, speak to friends and family, but it's the Instagrams, the TikToks, the Twitter. Stop. Just take 2 days and do not go on it. It will change your life so much. I think that's kind of what has even given me the energy to revisit YouTube. I tried YouTube maybe 8 years ago. I think I was doing not something similar. This is just like Call of Duty videos and just talking about the news and stuff of Call of Duty. But because I was so focused on everyone else's views and the money they were potentially making and stuff, it just put me off. I think I got one video to like 1,000 views. My next video after that got 150, and I was like, yeah, okay, it's not for me then. The job's not for me. And just look at that. Like it's silly. It's because I compared myself. I saw other people getting higher and didn't think that a drop in the middle of your YouTube career was possible. It was so silly. I was much younger now anyway. And another thing I think is to talk to someone. This is probably the biggest thing when you really think about what it means to feel lost. I think having someone you can talk to, they don't even need to get it completely. They just need to understand a little bit of how you feel. And I feel like everyone can resonate with that. There is not one person on this planet that doesn't know what it feels like to not know what to do next. We've all been there. It's not an age thing. It's not a race thing. It's a human thing. And talking to someone can change everything for you. And I think that's just what we as men in particular got to start doing a lot more of. And if you're feeling silly, look, I know it sounds stupid, but just put a comment down. I will read it. It's not like I have so many at the moment. Like if it's me you want to speak to just because you feel like I may understand you, that's absolutely fine. And I would love that. I think the last thing I would probably suggest is to be patient with yourself. I think a lot of things take time, and we're not really giving ourselves the time that we need. And yeah, just one step at a time, one step at a time. That's all you need to take. For those of you that have been watching the gameplay, this is actually a video of a comeback. I think our points, we were losing like crazy. It was like 150 to about like 30 points. It was over. I was feeling like leaving, but I didn't. And I stayed and I stuck at it. And honestly, that's the point of this video. So yeah, that's where I'm at with all this. This channel is not about chasing money or views. It's about purpose. I have quite a good 9 to 5, it pays me well, can't complain. But I know that my purpose and what I enjoy doing is helping others, particularly feel less alone. And what I've noticed, still come to realize, is I feel like you can do that by talking about things that make people feel alone. So whether that be feeling lost or being stuck at a dead-end job or not having enough money, there are a lot of things that kind of make people feel like they're ostracized from society or just feel like they're the only ones going through things. And that's what I hope this channel tries to address. So if you're feeling lost, it's okay. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just in the middle of figuring it out. And to be honest, that's not the worst place you can be. But anyway, keep going, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.